My beloved child, now is the moment I ask you to listen, not only with your ears, but with your soul. Listen with the heart that longs for affirmation, for a ray of light to pierce through the thick fog of weariness and doubt. You have waited. You have pleaded in silence. You have asked questions without ever receiving clear answers. But today, I come to whisper into your spirit. I have heard, I have seen, and I am responding. You have lived with a heart that always places others above yourself. You have stood at the front lines of every storm to shield those you love, even when you yourself needed comfort. I see it all. Not a single detail of your quiet sacrifices escapes my notice. I know how hard you've tried to keep the flame of love burning amidst the tempests of misunderstanding, pressure, and seemingly irreconcilable differences. My dear one, there are times when you feel alone in your mission to preserve your home. But the truth is, I have always been there, right beside you, in every beat of that selfless heart. When you sighed in secret, I was the one who caught each breath. When you looked at your family with a heavy heart, I was the one looking with you, understanding with you, upholding you in ways you may not even realize. Today, I want to remind you that you are not alone in this mission of protecting your family. You are not meant to carry it all in your own strength. There are things beyond your ability, and in those moments, I am inviting you to surrender them to me. Let me step into the growing gaps, into the hearts drifting apart, into the wounds that still quietly ache. I can reach the places words cannot. I can restore what you thought was shattered beyond repair. Perhaps someone in your family is lost. Perhaps someone is carrying deep wounds that you do not know how to heal. Maybe there are cracks that formed long ago, and you're doing everything you can to hold it all together. But, my beloved, I am the one who makes the impossible possible. I can soften the hardest hearts. I can make a way where there seems to be none. And you, yes, you, are the gateway through which I will move. You do not have to do everything. You only need to keep loving, keep praying, keep planting seeds of patience and hope, and leave the rest to me. Sometimes your simplest acts of obedience, a hug, a word of forgiveness, a glance free of judgment, are the very keys that unlock the gates through which miracles flow. I also know that there are moments when you feel misunderstood, even hurt by the very ones you love most. But you chose to forgive. You chose silence, not because you were weak, but because you are stronger than you think. Every time you chose love over accusation, patience over anger, intercession over condemnation, those very choices became the lifeblood I am using to pour out blessings upon your household. I see in you a spiritual gatekeeper, the one who stands in the gap between hearts, the one who prevents the spread of brokenness, the one who quietly nurtures what is sacred, even when no one else sees. And for that, you hold an irreplaceable role. Not because you are perfect, but because you are obedient. Not because you are invincibly strong, but because you run to me when you are weak. And it is this dependence that has opened the way for the power of heaven to flow into your family. Let your heart become still in this moment, so that I may take you deeper into the sacred realm of truth, a place where what seems tangled, wounded, and uncertain within your family is, in reality, resting safely within my powerful and loving hands. I know you have cried in silence. I have seen the times you turned away to hide your sorrow, not wanting anyone to witness the wounds bleeding silently within your heart. Wounds caused by things too painful to put into words. There have been nights when you looked into familiar faces, yet felt a distance within, wondering why your heart feels lost right in the midst of your own home. You felt like a stranger in the place that once brought you comfort. Misunderstood words and seemingly small actions have built unseen walls. And with each passing day, you can feel that distance growing, making you want to scream, yet all you manage is a quiet sigh. You ask yourself, why is it like this? What did I do wrong? Why has the warmth of family turned so cold, as if we never shared a history together? But my child, let me lift you up with the truth you need to hold on to right now. Nothing you are going through escapes my attentive gaze. Even when the surface seems painfully still, even when no one in your family dares speak what they truly feel, I am still at work, silently, yet powerfully. While you are praying, I am clearing away the dust of time that has dulled the hearts. While you remain silent to avoid conflict, I am laying the first stones of healing. Just because you cannot see it does not mean nothing is happening. For in my kingdom, the deepest transformations often begin in stillness. I know you have been praying for peace. I have heard your cries for unity to be restored, for love to blossom again in hearts that have grown hardened by conflict and hurt. You've waited long for an apology, for an embrace that brings healing, for a meal shared in harmony instead of tension. But my beloved, remember this. My way of healing is not like the world's way of fixing things. I do not patch up wounds temporarily. I rebuild from the root. And in order to do that, sometimes I must stir the quiet waters to bring to the surface what has long been buried. The unspoken pain, the unresolved grief, the dormant tensions that have quietly eroded the bonds of love. I do not expose to shame, I expose to cleanse. I do not stir up the past to accuse. I do it to heal to the core. And in this entire process, I need someone who will stand in the gap, someone who won't give up when things feel unclear. That someone is you. It is because you still believe that I can move. It is because you continue to intercede that I can reach into the hearts that have long been closed. Do you know that in a household full of brokenness, it takes only one tender heart for me to begin a holy transformation? You may not see the change right away, but every small act of love, every tearful prayer, every hug you offer even while your heart is still healing, it all carries great power in the spiritual realm. Each time you choose peace over argument, silence over harsh response, you are driving out the spirit of division from your dwelling place. Do not underestimate the small things. In my hands, even the smallest acts become mighty when they are birthed from love and obedience. I know you sometimes feel discouraged because no one seems to notice what you're carrying. There are moments when you ask, who will understand me? Who will speak for me when I have no words? Who will love them in my place when I'm too worn out to go on? And I say to you, I will. I am stepping into the places you cannot enter. I am speaking into hearts you thought were sealed shut. I am preparing a new season for your family, a season of forgiveness, of rebuilding, and of wonders that far surpass human understanding. Before the dawn breaks, the darkness will struggle and thrash. Before the flame of love and kinship is rekindled, there will be moments when you feel as though you are standing alone in the chill of a winter night. I do not hide this from you, my beloved, but I give you my solemn promise. If you hold your heart steadfast in the light, if you allow love to lead your every word and every deed, even when that love seems unanswered, then you will become the very path through which your family walks, into a season of restoration. My precious one, I see the vast and holy potential woven into your lineage. Though there are now tensions and misunderstandings, I have already ordained that this is not the end of the story. This is merely the beginning of a greater narrative, a sacred unfolding where brokenness becomes living proof of my power to transform. The tears you shed today will become the rivers that nourish life tomorrow. And you, through your love, your patience, and your unshakable faith, will witness the fruit born from the seeds you have sown in faith during this dry and weary season. So take heart, faithful one. When you feel out of place within your own family, remember, it is I who am guiding you home. When you don't know what to say to bring peace, allow my spirit to speak through your silence. A silence that carries love far deeper than words. And when your strength begins to fail because you've carried the burden for so long, lean into me, the one who never grows weary of lifting you up. Your family is your sacred inheritance, not because they are flawless, but because I, in my divine wisdom, have placed them into your hands. Like a treasured vineyard, they have been entrusted to your care, to be nurtured, interceded for, and patiently tended until the harvest comes. And I promise you, the harvest will surely come. It will not be delayed, nor will it come too soon. But it will arrive at the appointed time I have set. Until that day dawns, continue to love, continue to pray, continue to trust. For I, the one who began this good work in you and in your family, will be faithful to complete it. And when that day arrives, you will stand among the ones you love and see with clear eyes that nothing you have endured was wasted. Every tear, every conflict, every silent sacrifice will have become the divine ink with which I wrote a radiant story of redemption, far more glorious than anything you had imagined. Now let me draw back the veil and reveal to you a deeper truth, one that only those who have wept through the night, who have stood firm in suffering, and who have kept their faith in the dark, can fully comprehend. There will be seasons when your life feels disoriented, as though you are a lone vessel adrift in a storm-tossed sea. You may find yourself unable to grasp why such violent shaking has disrupted your peace, but dearest child, it is precisely in these seismic moments that I am doing my most intimate and powerful work, within your heart and within the home you are striving to preserve. There are times when I do not still the storm, not because I have turned away, but because I desire you to discover the strength I've placed within you. It is a strength not born of ease or avoidance, but of courageous endurance. At times I allow the ground beneath you to quake, not to dismantle you, but to dislodge what is unstable, so that only what is lasting, only what is true, may remain. What you perceive as chaos, I am using as holy reordering. What you view as loss, I have destined as pruning, in preparation for a season of breathtaking blossom. Do you see it now? A mighty tree cannot soar skyward unless its roots have first reached into the depths of the earth. In the same way, a soul cannot grow in wholeness until it has passed through nights of silence, through moments that feel like total collapse. But it is in that very place, where you feel most abandoned, most broken, that I am in fact closest to you. I do not stand outside the storm, watching you from a distance. I am within it, beside you in every crashing wave, in every desperate heartbeat, in every tear that falls hot upon your pillow. You are never alone, not even for a moment. Do you not know, my child? The shaking within your family is not the end. It is the sound of a bell, heralding a new beginning. I am reigniting what once seemed cold and forgotten. I am stirring up what has been frozen by misunderstanding, by pain, by the long passage of time, so that it may melt. For if I did not stir, people would too easily settle into silence, choosing distance over the discomfort of facing what needs to change. But I love your family too much to allow that to continue. I see the sacred value within each member of your family. I see the blessings still hidden, the spiritual gifts buried beneath wounds or pride. And I long to bring everyone back to that original love, back to unconditional connection, back to the blood ties now lifted and bound by faith. But for that to happen, there must first be an awakening, and nothing awakens the human heart more powerfully than moments when everything seems to be falling apart. What you are going through, the clashes, the misunderstandings, the tense silences, these are the chisels and hammers I am using to shape a statue of enduring love. If you could see from my perspective, you would understand that each crack is not a sign of destruction, but an opening through which light can enter. You would see that the pain you feel today is the very place where hearts begin to soften, where once blinded eyes begin to see, and where once hardened hearts start to beat again with true love. Do not fear the changes that are coming. Receive them like the first rains of the season. Yes, they may drench you, but they also nourish the seeds you quietly planted during the drought. Every prayer you've whispered, every sacrifice you've made, every choice to forgive is a seed buried in the soil. And these tremors you now feel, they are the rain I am sending to help those seeds grow. Do not judge the future based on the present. Do not rely on your natural eyes to interpret what I am doing in the spiritual realm. You've often hoped for change to come through others, for someone to apologize, for someone to understand, for someone to humble themselves. But sometimes, what I desire to do doesn't begin on the outside. It begins within you. I want to strengthen your faith. I want your love to be trained so that it does not depend on how others respond. I want the mercy within you to expand to the point that it is no longer shaken by rejection or indifference. For when the love within you is great enough, it becomes a sacred river that washes away all resentment, even the past itself. I know you are weary. I know there have been moments when you wanted to give up. But you are still here, still praying, still hoping, still choosing to love. And that is enough for me to move. Do not think you must be perfectly strong. I am not looking for warriors who never fall. I choose those who know how to lift their heads even after falling many times. Those who are willing to rise through their tears, believing that I am still writing their story. And you, my beloved, are one of those. So hold your heart steady. Even when the ground shakes, even when circumstances shift, know that your true foundation is not in what is seen, but in me. I am the rock beneath your feet. I am the hand that upholds you when everything else fades away. I am the one who never leaves you, never forgets you, and never abandons what I have begun in you. And one day, you will look back on all the things that bring you to tears today, and in awe you will declare, "It was in that very place I thought everything had ended, that you began a new season." You will see that what I have done is not merely to restore your family, but to transform it into a dwelling place of my presence, a sacred refuge where kindness, grace, and healing are felt through every glance, every embrace, and every word soaked in love. You are not simply called to keep the roof from collapsing. You are called to rebuild. through the boundless love I am placing within you, and as you allow me to work through you, I promise this house will not only withstand the storm, but will become a haven for many other wandering souls. For a family built on solid rock does not merely survive, it radiates light. And that light begins with your steadfast heart, full of love and faith. My beloved one, do not give up. Do not let the whisper of lies steal the peace from your soul. Do not let what your eyes see or ears hear cause you to forget what your spirit once knew with certainty. In this battle, the enemy does not come to merely stir up trouble in passing. He comes with the intention to destroy from the roots. Your family, that sacred dwelling I myself have established and preserved, is his first target, because he knows something that you must always remember. When a family is bound together by true love, by forgiveness, and perseverance in me, it becomes a fortress impenetrable to darkness. This is why he prowls constantly around you. He does not appear in terrifying form, but hides in careless words, in silent frowns, in the weariness at the end of a long day, in the silence between two people who once loved each other deeply. He sows ideas that seem harmless, that you are no longer loved, that your efforts are in vain, that the current coldness is proof of love that has dried up, and when those seeds begin to sprout in the mind, they quietly build fences that slowly push loved ones away, little by little. But, my child, I did not create your family to abandon it. I did not call you into this mission of preservation and healing only to leave you fighting alone. Every day you stand in the tension. You are not alone. Every night you pray through tears for peace to return. I am right there, receiving every tear, every whispered word, even the ones you cannot voice. I understand, and I am at work even when everything around you seems silent. Remember this: the enemy trembles not at loud declarations or the sound of clashing swords, but at the quiet resolve of a heart that refuses to give up. He panics when a mother continues to pray for her child, even when that child has let go of faith. He is shaken when a father patiently builds his presence in the home without seeking praise. He is baffled when a husband chooses forgiveness, when a wife chooses love, when a child chooses to honor their parents, even in the midst of brokenness. For these actions, silent, small, unseen, are the living expressions of a love that does not originate from man, but from heaven. I know you are weary from carrying burdens far beyond your strength. I see the moments you sit in silence, reflecting on conversations that could have gone differently, on expressions of love that have vanished, and on relationships once close that now feel like strangers. I understand the ache of enduring cold silences and words that pierce your heart like thorns. But my child, true love is not measured by fleeting emotions. It is measured by endurance, by the choice not to give up, by the faith that what I have begun, I will surely bring to completion. Family is not the absence of conflict. It is the presence of a love that rises above disagreement. It is the sacred space where people learn to apologize, to forgive, and to see each other not through the haze of past wounds, but through eyes that have been cleared by healing. And you, my beloved child, are the ones sowing the seeds for this sacred transformation. Even when others have yet to understand or reciprocate, I see your quiet efforts, and I am deeply pleased. You are clearing the path. You are making room for me to move. Do not let the enemy's lies bring you to your knees. When he whispers love is dead, let your response be love in action. When he suggests that person is not worthy of your forgiveness, Remember that I forgave you when you were still unworthy. When he tries to convince you that this relationship cannot be restored, remind him that I am the one who resurrects even what was dead. How much more can I restore a bond that still draws breath? What is most needed is not always a radiant miracle that alters everything in a moment, but a heart that refuses to surrender. A heart like yours, still beating with love, still anchored in hope, still lifting up prayers in the darkest of nights. That heart is where I am working most deeply. It is through your quiet perseverance that the invisible walls dividing hearts will begin to break. You may not see it now, but each prayer you speak is like a hammer shattering the unseen chains that bind your family. Each act of love is like oil poured into a flickering lamp, keeping the flame alive. And in time, the light will grow brighter. Truth will overtake the lies. Love will prevail. Not a love that is easy, but a love that has been purified in the fire of adversity. So do not grow weary. I have not forgotten you. My silence is not absence. It is preparation. There are victories that are not won by shouting, but through faithfulness. There are battle lines held not by weapons, but by whispers soaked in tears. And you, my faithful one, are the silent but mighty soldier on this sacred front line. Continue forward. Even when you must love without being loved in return, love. Even when you must forgive without hearing an apology, forgive. Even when you must pray without seeing immediate answers, keep praying. True love is not measured by the response it receives. It is a deliberate choice rooted in trust in me. And I will never let true love go to waste. The day will come when you look back and realize that every wound has become a testament to a love stronger than bitterness. There will be a time when those you now weep for will thank you for not abandoning them when they could not even love themselves. And you will see with your own eyes how I, through you, performed a miracle, transforming a house that once stood on the verge of collapse into a sanctuary of light, of life, and of peace. Until that day arrives, walk on. You do not need recognition. You do not need applause. All you need is a faithful heart and a soul fixed on me, for I am with you, and wherever I am, no lie can prevail. No fracture is beyond repair. No love placed in my hands will ever be in vain. You are the vessel I have chosen, and I will not fail to complete what I have begun in you. Let me say this to you now with all the tenderness of my eternal heart. My love is everlasting. It does not wither with time, nor fade beneath the weight of pain. It does not diminish in the face of betrayal or the brokenness of humanity. This love is not merely something I offer you. It is who I am, a nature that restores what has been lost, that lifts up what has fallen, that rebuilds what has been shattered, and turns human weakness into divine strength beyond anything the world can comprehend. There was a time when you thought of yourself as just a small presence in your own home, someone who at times felt lost, misunderstood, or not truly seen for the heart you carry. You may have asked yourself, does my presence here even matter? Does anyone really need the quiet offerings I bring each day? But today, I want you to know this. You are not there by accident. Not a single step you take is random. I placed you in that family with loving intention and intricate design. It was I who positioned you there, not as a spectator, but as someone holding an irreplaceable role. I see everything you do in the silence. every meal you prepare with love even when your heart is heavy, every gentle word you speak to your family even when your own soul is full of unsaid sorrows, every time you wipe away your tears just to smile so someone else can feel at peace. I see it all, and I know. Not a single act done in love is ever forgotten in my sight. Not once have you prayed for your family in the quiet of the night without my presence being right there with you. Even if no one in your household has yet recognized the light within you, I have seen it, long before you even realized it was shining. You may think your love is falling into empty spaces, that your sacrifices are disappearing into the unseen. But in the spiritual realm, every small act of yours is creating ripples far more powerful than you imagine. Every intercession you make, every hidden tear you shed, every moment you choose peace over argument, they are all pushing back the darkness, making room for my light to slip into the most shadowed corners of your loved ones' hearts. Do not think that just because others have not changed, I have not moved. Do not assume that their silence is proof that your love has been in vain. Some seeds require long seasons before they begin to sprout. Some walls are so thick that only persistent, unyielding love can bore through them. And some miracles begin quietly within, long before they are visible on the outside. You may not see it yet, but I am touching the hearts of those you pray for daily. I am breathing gently over their souls, dissolving the fog of doubt, stubbornness, hurt, and disorientation. I am quietly loosening the chains that have bound them to pain and old patterns. And it is precisely through your steadfast love that I find space to move. You think of yourself as just one person in your family, but in the spiritual realm you are a guardian. You are the one who stands on the threshold between darkness and light. When the enemy tries to slip into your home through division, bitterness, and blame, it has often been your loving silence that has silenced him. When disappointment has tried to take root, you have sown hope quietly. When coldness has tried to freeze sacred connections, you have kept the fire burning, even if only with a handful of embers. I know it's not easy. I know there have been days when you felt empty, when your kindness was taken for granted and your endurance went unnoticed. I know you have wanted to withdraw, have wondered if you could go on. But you stayed, you remained, you continued to believe in what I planted in your heart. And that very faithfulness moves me more deeply than any grand display could ever do. My child, do not think you are not good enough just because others have yet to change. You do not need to be perfect in order to be used by me. What I seek is not human excellence, but a humble heart that is willing to be molded. And you already have that. You are an instrument in my hand, a clay vessel that may not appear impressive on the outside, but is pliable and ready to be filled with my grace, so that through you, my love may be poured out to those you are loving with all your heart. The love I have placed within you is the kind of love that can endure, that can trust, that can hope, and that can overcome every adversity. It is a love built not upon fleeting emotions, but upon faith in me, the one who loved you when you were still lost, who forgave you before you ever repented, who waited for you even when you turned away. Now I am doing the same thing through you, in the family I have placed in your hands as a sacred gift. Believe this: the day will come when those you are interceding for will return and say, "It was your patience and your love that changed my heart." The day will come when meals once shared in cold silence will become warm again. Conversations will no longer stay on the surface, but will become places where hearts truly meet. And on that day you will see that everything you faithfully preserved has borne fruit, not by your strength, but by my power flowing through you. Until that day comes, do not stop loving. Do not stop hoping. Do not stop believing that I am still at work. For my love not only heals, but also renews. It does not simply restore what was broken, but makes it more beautiful than it ever was before. You are not alone in this labor. I am with you. I stand behind every word you speak in love. I go before every act of forgiveness you dare to make. I breathe in every quiet prayer you lift up. And through it all, I am writing a new chapter for your family. A chapter of transformation, of restoration, and of a love that never fails. Keep walking forward, for my glory is drawing nearer with every faithful step you take. I know you've silently carried much pain and anguish in your heart, seeing your loved ones seem so far from me. I have seen the moments you sit in stillness, your eyes filled with unspoken questions. Why do they reject the truth? Why does the light seem unable to reach their hearts? Why does the love I pour out so sincerely return only as silence, or even cold rejection? These questions are not unfamiliar to me. I have been right beside you every time your heart ached for someone you love who has yet to recognize who I am. And today, I want you to know that not one of your longings is in vain. Do not let that sorrow erode your hope. Do not let the silence dull the flame of faith that still burns within you. Remember this: every prayer you have offered has not vanished into nothingness. Every seed of faith you have patiently planted in their hearts, even if it has yet to sprout, will, in my appointed time, blossom and bear fruit. A seed does not bloom the moment it is planted, but it is buried in the soil, being watered by your faithful tears and warmed by the unwavering love you continue to hold each day. There are hearts now that seem frozen, cold, numb, even rejecting everything that has to do with me. But my dear child, I am the one who holds the power to turn hearts of stone into soil that is soft and good. I am the one who opened the eyes of the blind, restored the paralyzed, and called the dead back to life. So tell me, what is there in your family that I cannot reach? What part of the past can I not heal? Who among your loved ones is beyond my ability to awaken from the depths of their spirit and lead back into the light? Do not pronounce conclusions too soon about anyone. You do not know the pain they've endured, how they have stumbled, or how many years they've lived in loneliness and despair. Some do not reject me because they hate me, but because they've never truly known who I am. They have never encountered unconditional love. They have never had someone love them persistently when they felt unworthy of love. And you, my child, are the living letter I am sending to them. You are the embodiment of my kindness, the mirror that reflects my light in the days when they have lost faith in goodness itself. So continue. Continue to love, continue to intercede, continue to live by faith, even when others have not yet changed. Do not interpret their silence as your failure. In truth, you are laying the very first stones of a house of faith that, one day, they themselves will step into. I am moving in places deeper than your eyes can see. I am placing my hand upon their painful memories, dismantling layer by layer the walls that time and wounds have built. You see, in every family there are scars that cannot be seen with the eyes, wounds that have lingered for years, perhaps a word spoken in anger long ago, the absence of someone who should have been there, or a silent disappointment that was never named. These things do not only live in memory, they still stir within the soul, shaping the way people love, the way they trust, and even the way they respond to truth. But I, the Almighty One, am also the most tender. I am not only the King who holds the scepter of righteousness. I am the Father who lays his hand upon the broken heart and says, "My child, be healed." I can enter where no one else can, into the sealed-off corners of memory, into the pain that no one has fully understood. I do not heal by overlooking, but by confronting and transforming. And it is you who have begun to prepare the way for this healing through the steady, unconditional love you have chosen to give. You cannot fix the past, nor can you change anyone by your own strength. But you can trust me. You can surrender to me what you cannot repair. You can choose to rest in the assurance that I am holding your family in my loving and unshakable hands. So, my beloved child, cast all your cares upon me. Give me the burdens that wear you down. Let me take your disappointment and turn it into hope. Let me transform the sorrow in your eyes into light upon your face. Let me speak what you cannot say, touch what you cannot reach. Let me enter into the places you once believed were sealed off forever. And while you wait, do not let your heart run dry. Let faith be the stream that refreshes your soul. Let love be the lamp that never stops burning in your home. Let yourself become the dwelling place of peace, not because everything is perfect, but because you know with certainty who is holding all things in his hands. Do not hesitate to express my love through the smallest of gestures, a compassionate glance, a gentle word, a timely embrace, a meal filled with warmth and care, a listening ear that withholds judgment. These seemingly simple acts are the very gateways through which I enter the hearts of people. They may not listen to you preach, but they will see me in the way you live. They may not yet know who I am, but they will feel my love through your patience, your faithfulness, and your refusal to give up. The day will come when you will clearly see how every silent sacrifice you made shifted the spiritual atmosphere in your family. Those who once distanced themselves from me will return. Hearts that were once closed will begin to open, and you will stand under your own roof, eyes lifted up, your heart overflowing with gratitude for all that I have done, not through thunder or lightning, but through the quiet wind of unfailing love that you faithfully sowed into each passing day. So take heart. Stand firm in the place where you have been called. Do not lose courage just because you have not yet seen the outcome. The harvest season is drawing near, and I promise you, at the appointed time I have set, the seeds you have sown will bloom in beauty, in the very home you are loving with all your heart. I am the faithful one. I will not overlook a single prayer, a single tear, a single step of obedience, and I will bring to completion what I have begun. In you, in your family, and through you. I have seen the quiet yearning in your heart, the deep longing for true transformation and restoration in the home you've carried in your spirit for so long. I know that your waiting has not been measured in days, but in long, stretched-out years, marked by persistence, tears, and whispered prayers in the stillness of the night. I see that your hope is not built on fleeting emotions, but on a deep-rooted faith that I am the one who can resurrect what has withered, who can create something new out of the ashes of old wounds. But today, my child, I want you to hear this clearly. I am not merely the one you hope will come someday. I am here. I am moving, right now, not in some distant place, not in some vague future, but in this very moment. in your very home, in every situation that seems frozen in place. You often ask yourself, why haven't I seen any change? Why does everything still feel so tangled? But you are looking with earthly eyes. I want to teach you to see with the eyes of faith, eyes that perceive the invisible, believe what is not yet revealed, and stand firmly on what I have spoken, even when all surrounding circumstances seem to speak otherwise. I am working in the spiritual realm, beyond what your natural eyes can perceive. Deep movements are taking place, things you will one day look back on in awe and say, so it was during those moments when I thought nothing was happening, that God was doing something so great. I am quietly pushing back the darkness that clouds the minds and hearts of your loved ones. I am reaching into the hidden memories that words alone cannot touch. I am healing wounds so deeply buried that even the one carrying them does not know they are there. You are not alone. I have dispatched my angels to surround your family, to protect, to preserve, and to fight on your behalf. Great spiritual battles are being waged each day, and there are victories you are unaware of that have come through your steadfast faithfulness. Every time you kneel in prayer, you open the heavens for my power to descend. Every time you choose love over bitterness, you are paving the way for angels to move in the authority of my name. You may think you are too small in the face of all that is happening, but remember this: you don't have to be great to bring about change. You only need to stand in your rightful place as a faithful, loving, trusting child who does not give up. The steadfastness in your spirit, the tenderness in your heart, these are the very places where my power moves most mightily. Do not let what your eyes see shake your heart. Do not let the negative voices around you cause you to doubt my faithfulness. I am not bound by circumstances, by time, or by human limitations. There is no wall too high for me to overcome, no heart too hardened for me to soften, no division too deep for me to rebuild the bridge of love. Remember this: I am the one who caused the sea to part before my people, who loosed the tongue of the mute, who called the dead back to life, and today I remain the same. I do not change, I do not grow weary, I do not delay. I am moving on your behalf, for you are the one who has given me your whole heart, who has kept the fire of faith burning in the midst of the storm, who has not surrendered even when your prayers have yet to be fulfilled. Do not worry when you do not see the flowers bloom yet, for beneath the soil, the roots are growing deep. It is in these seemingly silent seasons that I am working most powerfully. Do you know that in the darkness of night, seeds break open to begin their germination? I am nurturing every prayer you have lifted up, refining every intention within your heart, and softening every hardened layer within your loved ones' souls. You are never alone on this journey. Every step you take, I am with you. Every time you feel too weary to go on, lift your eyes, for I have never taken mine off of you. I am holding you amid the chaos, upholding you with invisible yet unshakable arms. And I want you to keep going, not by your own strength, but because I am your strength. When you worry for your family, remember that I love them even more deeply than you do. Your love for them is only a faint reflection of the fierce love I hold for each one of them. I saw them before they were formed in the womb. I know every wound, every milestone of their journey, and I have a complete restoration plan for each of them, even the one you now believe is the furthest away. So do not measure the success of your faith by immediate changes. Look beyond. See with the eyes of the Spirit. There are things you are doing today that will leave a mark on generations to come. The prayers you offer now will become a spiritual inheritance for your descendants. A house built on faith and love cannot be shaken by the storms of this world. My beloved, I know how deeply you long to see restoration, but I want you to know, I long for it even more than you do, and I am not delaying. I am preparing what is best. When the season comes, everything will ripen, and every piece will come together so perfectly that you will stand in awe. Until that day, keep walking forward. Keep living with a sincere heart. Keep loving without seeing the outcome. Keep trusting even without clear signs. For I am doing a new thing. While you persist, I am shifting things. While you pray, I am recreating. While you are silent, I am restoring. And soon, your eyes will behold what I have prepared. A restoration not meant to patch things up, but to bring rebirth. A restoration that heals not just on the surface, but transforms from the root. A restoration that doesn't merely change circumstances, but revives hearts once broken. Now let your heart be still, so I may continue to whisper something deeply important into your spirit, something I long for you to hold as a treasured gem, for it will guard your home through seasons of shaking and become the very door that opens to the deepest healing your family can experience. It is the words you choose to speak each day. I know that in seasons of hardship, in moments of strain within family relationships, there have been words spoken that you wish you had never heard, and perhaps even words you wish you had never said. Words uttered in anger or carelessness have left scratches, imprints that linger in the hearts of your loved ones. Some phrases, though brief, have carried wounds deeper than 100 explanations could mend, and you have carried that pain inside you, a silent wound, a regret that never quite fades. But my dear one, I am the one who knows the depths of every heart. I understand that your pain does not only come from circumstances, but from the weight of words that cannot be taken back. I know there are nights when you lie awake, replaying arguments, regretting what was said and what was left unsaid, tears falling silently onto your pillow. I see it all. And today, I do not come to condemn you, but to remind you of this. There is no wound caused by words that I cannot heal. No painful statement is eternal when you allow me to change the current flowing within your soul. Words are far more powerful than you imagine. Through words, the world was created. Through words, love is conveyed. Through words, faith is built. But through words, wounds are also inflicted. Through words, hearts can be led astray from truth. The enemy knows this well. It doesn't wait until you are completely weak to act. It only needs a single moment. When you're tired, when anger rises, when restraint falters, in that moment it grabs hold of your words, distorts them, amplifies them, and uses them like sharp arrows to divide hearts that were once united. That is why I am calling you, my instrument of peace, to be vigilant with your speech. Let every word you speak be soaked in grace. Do not speak hastily when your heart is in turmoil. Do not let anger steer your tongue. I understand when you are hurt, you want to be heard, to explain, to have your pain acknowledged. But my child, words spoken in wrath do not heal, they only deepen the wound. They are like arrows with no clear aim, yet their consequences can be devastating. Instead, choose to be a sower of life-giving words. Let your mouth become a spring of sweet water in the heat of the desert. Speak words of love, even when others have not yet earned it. Speak words of encouragement, even when you haven't received understanding. Speak words of healing, even when you yourself are still wounded. Because when you choose this path, you are opening the way for my presence to move into the broken places and do what no one else can. Do you know, my beloved, that each word spoken in genuine love has the power to dismantle walls of misunderstanding? A simple apology, when born of sincerity, can unlock a door that's been sealed for years. A well-timed thank you can cause the heart of a father, a mother, or a child, once thought hardened, to tremble simply because they feel seen and valued. A heartfelt "Dad, Mom, I love you," though brief, can become the seed of life in a relationship that seemed. I want you to understand this. You do not need to always be right to preserve unity. You only need to truly love. And when you love deeply enough, you will be willing to lower your voice in order to win back a heart. You will learn to choose unity over pride, peace over victory. And that, my child, is what makes you the most precious instrument in my hand, not because you never make mistakes, but because you have learned how to let your words become streams of life, not arrows of harm. If there were words that slipped out in a moment of anger, do not lose heart, my child. I do not judge you for a fleeting outburst. I look upon your journey, and what I see is a humble heart, a soul learning how to love and forgive. Begin again. Take the initiative to speak words of healing. Bow down if you must, not because you are weak, but because you are strong enough to choose love over pride. True strength does not reside in a loud voice, but in a heart tender enough to listen, brave enough to apologize, and humble enough to let go of the need to have the final word. I am healing every wound within your family, not by turning back time, but by giving you the chance to create new moments, speak new words, and bring fresh meaning into relationships once broken. And it is you, my beloved one, whom I have chosen to carry out this sacred work. So, child of the light, let your lips be filled with gentle words. Let your speech become a bridge that draws hearts together. Let every sentence you utter bear witness to the love I am pouring out without ceasing. Every time you choose kindness over criticism, you are making the enemy tremble. Every time you respond with grace instead of bitterness, you are overthrowing the strategy of division. And every time you bless with your lips instead of cursing, you are releasing heaven's power over your own household. Do not underestimate what you can do through your words alone. A single phrase you speak today may echo as life across generations. A word of love you offer today might be the very thing that helps a despairing soul realize they still matter. A word of forgiveness today might become the key that unlocks a long-awaited journey of restoration for your entire family. I am present with you in every one of those words. I am placing on your lips things that are gentle yet full of power. And I will use your very gentleness to break down the hardest of walls. You do not need to shout to be heard. When you speak in love, all of heaven stands behind you, and what could possibly stop a soul when heaven is moving on their behalf? Keep choosing love. Keep speaking words of life. Keep sowing sentences that are tender, yet mighty. For in my hands, every word you release will become a refreshing wind, a healing rain, and a radiant light upon the dry. When the long days pass by and everything around you seems unchanged, when the prayers you've lifted seem to go unanswered, and the dreams of restoration for your home feel distant, I know there have been moments when you begin to wonder, is anything really shifting? Will things always stay this way, empty, fractured, and uncertain? But my child, do not believe that poisonous whisper. Do not let the lies of the enemy invade your thoughts and extinguish the flicker of hope that has been kindled within you. He is always scheming to plant the idea that I have forgotten, that your prayers are in vain, and that your family has fallen beyond the reach of redemption. But you must remember, he is the father of lies, and anything he says runs contrary to the truth. The truth is, I am working. The truth is, a new season is drawing near. And the unchangeable truth is this: I never forget what I have promised you. Can you hear it? In the realm of the spirit, the sound of chains snapping is echoing. I am breaking open what has been bound for far too long. There are things within your family that have been shackled by pain, by misunderstanding, by the haunting weight of a past no one dared to confront. And now I am unfastening each chain, one by one. You may not see it with your natural eyes, but deep within the spiritual realm, there is movement. Strongholds that once seemed immovable are beginning to crack. Barriers that once appeared insurmountable are being torn down piece by piece. And it is in the silence, precisely in those moments when you think nothing is happening, that my power is moving with the greatest force. Do not let fleeting emotions lead you off course. Let my word be the compass for your soul. What your eyes perceive may stir up doubt, but what I have spoken is unchanging truth. When I promise, I do not forget. When I speak, I act. My word never returns void. They are not merely passing comforts, but words full of spirit and life. Words that carry the power to renew and the authority to alter destinies. My declarations over your life are not weakened by time, nor rendered ineffective by circumstance. They remain strong, sharp, and alive. Do you remember the words I once planted in your heart? The whispers I gave you in the dark, when no one else knew you were crying? The promises I etched into your dreams, when you were still young, still pure, still brimming with hope? They have not. Today, I say to you, be faithful. Do not step away from your post of intercession. Do not release your grip on the love I have poured into your heart. What you are doing is not in vain. Even the smallest prayers, the quietest acts of love, the timely embraces, the gentle words spoken in place of anger, all are building an invisible spiritual force that cannot be dismissed. And when the time comes, that accumulation will explode into a harvest of life, of reconciliation, of restoration, far beyond anything you ever dared to hope. Not only will I restore what was stolen, but I will make it better than it was before. What the enemy used to divide, I will turn into an opportunity for unity. What seemed like an ending, I will transform into a brand new beginning. And the very things that once broke your heart will become living testimonies of my power, my mercy, and my faithfulness. One day, the very place that once bore the deepest wounds will overflow with love. The very one who once turned away will return to the embrace of grace. The one who once rejected me will become a witness to the transforming power that only I can bring. You will testify to what I have done, not just with words, but with a life utterly transformed, with a family made whole. There will be testimonies rising from your household, not stories born from theory, but to reach that day, I call you now. Remain steadfast. Stay in my love. Keep the lamp of hope within you burning bright, no matter how fiercely the winds of life may blow. Do not let what your eyes see cause your heart to waver. Hold tighter than ever to what I have spoken. When your heart begins to shake, return to my word. When you grow weary, Lift your eyes and see that I am still holding your hand, and when everything falls silent, believe that I am still at work. My child, I never forget you. You are not lost in the crowd. I have engraved your name on the palm of my hand. I listen to every sigh, every heartbeat, every unspoken cry that no one else hears. And more than that, I have not forgotten a single prayer you have ever offered, whether in tears, in choked sobs, in silence, or in fragile hope. Each one is kept in a golden bowl before my throne, more precious to me than any earthly offering. Remember, you are walking a journey far greater than you realize. I am writing a profound story through your very life, and even if the present feels uncertain, the ending of that story is glory. Not only glory for you, but for your family, for your lineage, for the generations that will walk the path you are now paving through your obedience and faithfulness. So, my beloved one, stand firm. Be courageous. Keep walking forward. Not because you see everything clearly, but because you trust the one who called you. I am coming. A new season is drawing near, and in that season everything I have promised will come to pass. I am the faithful one. My words are yes and amen, and you will not only hear them, you will see them with your own eyes. You will witness my goodness poured out upon your very household. For what I have begun, I will surely complete. For I have chosen you, and I will never let you go. My precious child, now is the time I desire you to know something sacred and deeply profound. The shift has begun. It is not merely a quiet stirring within your spirit, but a complete transformation, reaching even those closest to you, seeping into every corner of the home you have lifted up in tears, in hope, and in unwavering faith. The change you've longed for is no longer distant. It is being birthed in this very moment, silently, yet with power, gently, yet with certainty. You have cried out in the long, dark nights. You have prayed when no one saw. You have poured your whole heart into every plea. You have waited with such patience that it felt like there was nothing left to hold on to. But I heard you. I understood. And now I am not only answering, I am exceeding your expectations. I am ushering you into a new season, a season of restoration, of new beginnings, of blooming in the very places you once thought had died. Oh child, not a single tear you shed for your family was meaningless. Not a single prayer of yours was forgotten. You may have thought everything that came your way was mere coincidence, just the random flow of life. But I tell you this, I do not operate by chance. In my kingdom there is no such thing as accident. Every step you take, every seemingly insignificant moment, has been orchestrated by me in a grand design, a divine blueprint written with love and purpose. Every season I have led you through carries a deep meaning. Every time has its divine purpose. There were seasons in which you had to wait, to learn patience, seasons in which you were broken to understand humility, seasons in which you bore burdens so you could feel the weight others carry. And now, you are stepping into a brand new season, a season where growth will rise from roots once pruned, where life will spring forth from the very ground once watered by your tears and sacrifices. Did you know, my child, that your family is not merely a part of life you must endure, but a precious gift I have carefully placed into your hands? It was never meant for you to carry in your own strength, but rather for you to recognize that I am working through you to preserve, to restore, and to bless those you love with the very love I have poured into your heart. Family is not just a matter of blood ties, In my divine design, family is the place I created to pour out love, to express kindness, and to reveal my everlasting faithfulness. You have asked, why me? And it is precisely because of your tender heart, because you know how to reach me with simple faith and genuine love, that I chose you to be the vessel within that home. I do not seek the strong by the world's standards. I look for a heart that is willing. And you, my beloved one, are the one I have seen as fit for a great work to be done through. I know you have borne much, at times standing in the midst of broken pieces, trying to mend, to build, to wait, and to hope, even when hope seemed lost. But what you could not see is this: in every moment that you did not give up, you were laying down the foundation stones for a spiritual house that would stand firm. And now, as the appointed time draws near, it is I who will bring the work to completion, not by human strength, but by the power of my own presence. I will take care of your family, not as a distant God, but as a close and watchful Father, guarding them through every night, lifting them through each day. Just as I have never abandoned you, I will not turn away from those you hold dear. When you were weak, I upheld you. And now, as you stand before the threshold of restoration, I am taking your hand to walk with you through this new door. A door of hope, a door of healing, a door that opens into a season full of miracles. The day will come when you will look back and see clearly that everything I have done was woven with wisdom and immense love. You will see the reason behind the waiting, the purpose for every unanswered prayer. You will come to understand that delay was never denial, but the time I used to prepare all things, so that when you finally step in, you will not receive just one answer, but an abundant harvest far beyond what your heart could ever imagine. And in that new season, you will witness every promise fulfilled. The words I once spoke through Scripture, through divine revelations, and through the quiet leading within your heart, each one will come to life. You will see your loved ones touched. You will witness hearts transformed. You will see what was once broken restored, not merely as it was, but made new, stronger, deeper, and more beautiful than before. Continue to walk by faith. Do not turn away from the promise. Let your heart remain tender as it was in the beginning, even after all the trials. I have not forgotten you, and I have not overlooked the things you have laid upon the altar of prayer. Every tear sown has been etched into the eternal memory of my heart, and not a single seed watered with weeping will fail to be reaped in joy. You are living in a pivotal time. A new season is unfolding before your eyes, like the radiant dawn after a long, dark night. And yes, I am the one bringing you into this new season, not so that you would fight alone, but that I may fight for you, that you may stand firm in love, in peace, and in gratefulness, knowing that in the end, I always keep my promises. In this sacred moment, I have not come merely to comfort you, but to awaken within you something far greater than you have ever imagined. There is a part that belongs to you in the grand picture I am painting, a role that no one else can fulfill, a mission not given to just anyone. Yes, I am preparing a season of restoration for your family, but at the same time, I am inviting you to step into a journey of awakening and action. You were not chosen to simply stand by and watch as changes unfold around you. You were not called to sit idly, waiting for a miracle to fall from the heavens. I have placed within your heart a flame of love, of truth, and of mercy. Not for you to keep to yourself, but to become a light among those still groping in the darkness. You are the lamp I have lit to illuminate the whole house. You are the voice amidst the noise of confusion. You are the hands ready to lift others, the heart tender enough to truly listen, and the spirit strong enough to intercede. Do not underestimate this calling. It is not a burden meant to weigh you down with fear, but a privilege, a blessing not given to everyone. I have entrusted you with the opportunity to shape the atmosphere of your home. When others choose silence, I call you to speak words of love. When anger rises, I summon you to carry peace. When many withdraw out of weariness, I invite you to move forward with steady steps of faith. This is not just something you are capable of doing. It is something I am calling you to do, because through you, I am doing the work of restoration and rebuilding. And now, I ask you to pause for a moment. Take a deep breath and look at your family, not with eyes weary from disappointment, not through the lens of the past, but with my eyes, the eyes of the one who sees everything hidden behind each person's outward appearance. See them not with a longing for them to change, but with the understanding that I am already at work in their hearts, even if they are not yet aware of it. I see what you cannot see. I look beyond the hardened shell of cold words, past the silence of nights without conversation, and I touch the hidden pain no one dares to name. I see the struggles they've never voiced, the inner battles they don't know how to explain. I see the disappointments that weigh heavily on them, and the things that have caused them to break within. But more than that, I also see the beauty that has yet to bloom, the dormant potential, the hidden abilities, and the life waiting to rise again. I see the courage in the father, who once made mistakes but secretly longs for another chance. I see the strength in the mother, who feels exhausted, yet still quietly prays through every night. I see the light in the eyes of a child who hasn't yet found the words for their deepest hopes, but is waiting for an adult gentle enough to listen. I see the young ones wrestling with the vastness of the world and the wounds within, the ones you may think have closed themselves off, but in truth are longing for a hand extended in real love. And I see you too, the one who has not given up, the one who has sat in silence many times, unsure of what to do, yet still chose to love. The one who has shed tears, yet still knelt down to intercede. The one who has endured seasons of exhaustion, but still stood up one more time. You are the one I have placed as a spiritual pillar in your family, not because you are always right, but because you always return to me. Not because you are perfect, but because you are humble enough to let me shape you day by day. Understand this: spiritual maturity does not always manifest in eloquent speech or grand gestures. More often, it is born from the smallest of things, like listening without judgment, like holding back a sharp word in a moment of anger, or placing a gentle hand on someone's shoulder and saying, "I'm here." It is in these quiet, seemingly insignificant moments that I build bridges stronger than any argument or rationale. Now, I am building something new within your household, and the first cornerstone is the way you look at them. If your eyes are clouded with prejudice, you may unknowingly hinder the work I am doing. But if you learn to see them through the eyes of love and divine expectation, you will begin to perceive them differently. Not because they change instantly, but because your gaze, filled with hope, becomes a mirror reflecting my kindness, awakening them little by little into new life. I do not ask you to become a savior. I do not expect you to bear the entire weight of your family on your shoulders. But I am calling you to something both simple and profound: to be the bearer of light, Let me borrow your eyes to see them, your lips to speak my words of love, your hands to hold them when they are weary, your heart to beat in rhythm with their pain, and your steady spirit to anchor the home when everything else feels unstable. The time has come. A new season is rising, not only in the atmosphere but within the spirit of each member of your family. I am awakening goodness that has long lain dormant, and I am inviting you to be the first to declare, we can still love, we can still forgive, we can begin again. My beloved, do not fear the role I've entrusted to you. It is not a burden, but an honor. You have been chosen to be the first to light the lamp. Be brave and step forward. Walk in faith, not because everything is perfect, but because I am the faithful one who has promised to act when you obey. And when you do, you will witness something miraculous. A weary family being refreshed, a fractured home being mended by true love, and a new generation being raised up by the light you chose not to hide. My beloved, I want you to listen closely to what I am about to whisper into the deepest parts of your soul, for this is the moment I draw you deeper into the quiet yet powerful truth I am unfolding in your family. Even though your eyes have not yet seen and your ears have not yet heard, be assured, behind the veil of the ordinary, beneath the silence that seems hopeless, I am orchestrating a divine plan. It is a holy restoration, a wave of awakening intricately designed to touch every heart in your household. I have seen the nights when you knelt in silence, praying for peace to return to your home. I have received every whispered hope, every muffled cry offered in stillness. Your prayers were not for yourself, but for reconciliation, for bonds unbroken by time and hurt. You have asked me to pour love over each family member, so their hearts would soften, their eyes would open, and your home would no longer be a shelter for distance, but a sacred place of divine connection. And today, I want you to know, not one of your prayers has been overlooked. Not a single longing for unity has been disregarded. I have taken all that you have offered, and I am moving. Quietly, deeply, but never late. I am the patient one, and I am the faithful one. Though it may seem like nothing is changing, deep beneath the surface of the spirit realm, the ground is shaking. Chains are being worn away. Day by day, hearts are slowly awakening from spiritual slumber, from the numbness left by old wounds. However, my child, I want you to understand this. The change you've been praying for does not come like a fleeting breeze. It does not arrive simply because you long for it. It must be supported by a soul that is ready. Restoration demands a sacred preparation. You cannot merely hope for a new season without planting the seeds for it. And, my dear one, I have seen within you a heart of intention, a faith unshaken by trials, and a quiet yet unwavering devotion. This is why I have chosen you to be the lighthouse within your family, not because you are perfect, but because you have surrendered. Not because you are strong by the world's standards, but because in your weakness you have learned to rely on my strength. You have chosen not to respond with anger, but with love. You have chosen silence to preserve peace. You have chosen to forgive, even when you had every right to hold on to the hurt. And it is in these choices that you have become a vessel for a purpose far greater than you can imagine. Remember this. A lighthouse does not move, yet its light can reach even the deepest darkness. Though it stands still amid crashing waves, it is its steadfastness that saves the lost ships. So it is with you. You do not need to change everything by your own power. You only need to hold your ground, keep shining, keep loving, and continue living out the faith I've placed within you. For through that light, those around you, especially the younger ones, your children, your siblings, your grandchildren, will gradually be guided toward the shore of peace. I want you to pay attention to the younger members of your family. They are a generation caught in the tension between light and shadow, between truth and deception, between the call of life and the seductive cry of wayward passions. They may act rebellious, keep their distance, or seem indifferent, but my child, do not be deceived by appearances. I see the quiet battles raging within their hearts, and I need someone like you to rise up, to intercede for them, to guide them, to love them not with words of reproach, but with a heart wide open and persistently patient. Be the place they can return to when the world knocks them down. Be the one who keeps the door open where the light is always on. Do not grow weary when you must remind them again and again, when you pray for them without seeing immediate results. You are sowing seeds on rocky ground, but I am softening that soil, and when the seed meets fertile earth, life will spring forth, suddenly and beautifully. You are not merely a member of the family. You are the bridge I am using to reconnect hearts. You are a living prayer, a symbol of mercy in a generation losing its way. When you keep the light alive within you, it not only illuminates your own path, but also reaches those who don't even realize they need light. When you walk in truth, you carve a trail that others behind you can follow. Do not fear when you feel utterly alone. Do not shrink back when your light feels too small in the vast sea of night. A single, faithful flame in my hand is enough to drive back the darkness. A willing heart like yours is enough for me to work wonders for an entire family. You are an irreplaceable part of the restoration plan I am unfolding. And do you know this? With every moment you remain faithful, I am able to do more in the hearts of others. Your light will gradually expose what is false. The peace you carry will slowly calm the storms in their souls, and the love you show, not loud, not flashy, but enduring and sincere, will be the very thing that reminds them of me, reveals me to them, and draws them back to me. You are exactly where you need to be. You are doing what you've been called to do. And I promise you, a day not far from now, you will see the fruit of every tear you've shed, every prayer you've whispered, every act of love that went unnoticed. The house you are standing in to uphold will be filled with my presence. Every heart within it will be awakened in its time. Peace will return. Love will spread. Unity will be restored. My beloved child, in this very moment, open your heart wide so that I may pour into it a truth, deep, rich, and saturated with the love you are meant to carry as a messenger of life in this turbulent age. I want you to look again, not just with physical eyes, but with the eyes of your spirit, to truly see what is happening to the young ones in your own household, those walking through the world with trembling feet, bewildered hearts, and minds easily deceived by glittering. I have seen it all. I have beheld every inner struggle they have faced. The young souls in your home, once innocent and radiant, are now tossed about on the chaotic waves of this age. They are being drawn in by the world's shimmer, seduced by sugar-coated invitations cleverly disguised as truth. False ideals, distorted views of worth, broken relationships paraded as freedom, all these are pulling them in, disorienting them, causing them to lose their sense of direction, their identity, and even me, the one who planted seeds of love and calling within them from the beginning. I see them being led by the winds of public opinion, enchanted by twisted definitions of success, acceptance, and love. They seek validation from friends, from social media, from people who have no idea who they truly are in spirit. And because of this, they are easily wounded, easily swayed, easily brought to their knees. I see the nights they feel alone, even in a crowd. I feel the silent cry rising from deep within their souls. Does anyone truly understand me? Does anyone see me? Is there someone who loves me enough to tell me the truth, even if I resist it? This is why I have called you, not someone else. You, the one walking in my light, the one whose heart is soft enough to love, yet strong enough to confront. I have called you not to merely observe, not to only weep over a lost generation, but to step in, to stand up, to lead. I need you not only to feel compassion, but to act with authority and unwavering resolve. I need you to be the one who says, wherever you go, I will still be here. Even if you lose your way, I will not give up on you. And even if you don't understand, I will still love you to the very end. Do not believe that because you have failed, been hurt, or are imperfect, that you cannot help them. It is your very experiences, your falls and your comebacks, those moments when you thought all was lost but still clung to faith, that make you trustworthy, worthy to be followed. You don't need to be eloquent. You don't need to do everything perfectly. You simply need to be honest and faithful. You need a heart that does not give up, a love that asks for nothing in return, and a spirit as steady as a rock in the rushing stream. Become the tireless guardian for this generation. Stand watch over the gates of their souls through intercession. Be the one who positions themselves between them and the darkness, the one who ignites a flame of hope when all they have left is ashes. Be the place they can return to, not to be judged or belittled, but to be received with eyes of grace and a heart that truly sees. Live as a living testimony of love and truth, so they will come to know that righteousness is not cold and rigid, but a path that leads to the fullness of life. You must prepare your heart for the rejection, for the resistance, and for the hurtful words that may come from the very ones you love. But I ask you, do not shrink back. Do not let the pain cause you to retreat into silence, because even in their opposition, the light you carry is still at work. Even when they think you hold no influence, it is your steadfast and loving presence that is shaking the strongholds that darkness has tried to erect. Remember, you are not fighting this battle alone. I am warring with you. I am sending angels to surround those young hearts, and I am using every one of your prayers as sharp weapons in a spiritual war they don't even realize they are caught in. Each time you intercede, you are pushing back the darkness. Each time you choose not to give up, you are building a spiritual barrier against deception. And trust me, there will come a day when they return. The moment will arrive when they recognize that the very light they once rejected is the very thing they need most. They will find their way back because of the persistence of your heart. And on that day, your joy will be indescribable, for you will see them not only restored as family, but awakened as lovers of truth, walking in life and offering their lives to something far greater than themselves. So, my beloved, stand firm. Do not lose heart. Keep breathing life into those who seem extinguished. Don't look at them only through the lens of the present. Look with my eyes, the eyes of the one who sees deep within them, who sees the potential they have yet to discover, who sees the calling I placed upon their lives even before they were formed in the womb. Keep loving, even when they cause you pain. Keep guiding, even when they don't listen. Keep covering them, even when they show no gratitude. Because true love does not depend on how it is received, but on the clear understanding that you have been sent by me, not to control them, but to reflect me to them. And that kind of love, when released at the right moment, has more power to transform than any sermon, any theory, or any rule. I am calling you into a season of divine intervention, a season where love is no longer just spoken, but steadfastly lived, a season where perseverance will overcome wandering, a season where intercession will no longer be silent, but a blazing fire upon the altar of your heart, unending, unquenchable. Step in, my child. Move in faith, for I am going ahead of you, making a way for the ones you love to come home. And you will witness this. Those who once burdened your heart will become your companions in my kingdom, standing beside you, strong, radiant, and filled with the Holy Spirit. Because I have never given up on them, and I will not let you fight alone. This is a crucial moment, a time when silence could allow the darkness to gain ground, and when the light must shine forth with both courage and humility. I know you've wrestled with doubt, hesitated with fear, afraid that speaking truth might drive your loved ones further away, that they might resist, misunderstand the love you're trying to give. But my child, know this. True love never partners with what is wrong, and truth is never built upon silence. I am calling you into a sacred role, not as a judge, but as a guardian, not as one who Therefore, do not hesitate to speak the truth. Do not shy away from drawing a clear line between light and darkness. Do not be afraid to show them the path that leads to life, even if at first they reject it. You are not called to control others, but you are chosen to reflect the light. Do not try to shape them into your mold. Live in such a way that they see my pattern shining through you. Do not emphasize your superiority, but humbly guide them to the one who renews you daily. Do you know why I have not called you to be the one who controls every decision they make? Because I am the one who honors the free will I placed within each person. I want you to be a sower, not a forcer. Sow with love, water with patience, and nourish with the integrity of your life. Let your life be the soil from which new things grow, not because they see judgment in you, but because they find life, not pressure, but freedom in the truth. Do not worry if your words are fewer. Let your actions speak for you. When you treat them with mercy, when you forgive instead of condemn, when you are slow to anger and quick to listen, that is when you are preaching a sermon far louder than any words you could say. People may forget what you've preached, but they will not forget the feeling your presence brings. They will remember the peace in your eyes, the gentleness in your voice, the steadiness with which you face adversity. Be a mirror that does not distort truth, but also does not punish weakness. Show them a life of faithfulness in the midst of faithlessness, a heart that endures through weariness, a spirit of kindness in a world quick to discard one another. You do not need eloquent words. You only need a sincere heart. That alone I will use to reach even the hardest of hearts. Perhaps today they do not hear you. Perhaps they laugh, scoff, or even feel as though you've grown distant. But do not let those temporary reactions cause you to question the value of the life you are living. The seeds sown in tears will take root more deeply than you know. And the day will come, in their hour of crisis, in a moment of confusion, when you will be the one they seek. Not because you have all the answers, but because they know you have lived the truth. I know there are moments when you ask yourself, how can I do all of this? I too am tired. I too am weak. I too need to be loved. And I say to you, it is precisely because you are weak that I can be strong in you. It is precisely because you are not enough that I pour my fullness into you. You are not acting alone. I am moving in you and through you. And through you, I am your strength with every step you take, your light with every word you speak, your shield when you are rejected, your comfort when you feel empty. Remain in me. Anchor your soul in me each morning. Offer every word, every action, every expression to me, so I may use them as instruments to reflect my love to your family. And when they see in you an unshakable peace, a peace not born of circumstances but of my presence, they will not be able to look away. You do not need to win arguments. You need to win in love. You do not have to be right in every conversation. You only need to be right in the way you live. And when you live rightly, authentically, lovingly, and with hope, that very life will become a gentle call that draws others home. My presence within you will become like an irresistible fragrance, not suffocating, but unforgettable. One day they will say, "There is something about your life that stirs my heart," and that is the moment their hearts will begin to open. That is the moment I will enter. That is the moment restoration begins. My beloved child, remain steadfast. I know this path is not easy, but it is the path that leads to life, and you will never walk it alone. I go before you to prepare the way. I walk behind you to protect. I stand beside you to strengthen, and I dwell within you to love through you. Do not measure your impact by what you see. Trust in what I am doing far deeper than you can perceive. Keep speaking words of love. Keep acting in truth. Keep living in faith. For I am turning your life into a city on a hill, a light that cannot be hidden, and one day all that you have sown in patience will bear fruit. The sweet fruit of life, the sweet fruit of restoration, the sweet fruit of a family that has come to know my unfailing love. Now, pray for your loved ones who are wandering. Pray for the unity of your family. Pray for the souls who are drifting away from me to return home. You may pray as follows. Dear Heavenly Father, in this quiet and deeply emotional moment, I come before you not only with a heart broken for myself, but with a burning longing for those I love, those for whom my heart has never ceased to ache, never ceased to hope, even though they have chosen another path, walking far from your light, far from the home you lovingly prepared with holy affection. Lord, I ask that you incline your ear to the prayer rising from the depths of my soul, a cry of intercession for my beloved ones who are lost, who are caught in confusion, who have been drawn away by the noise of this world and no longer hear your gentle voice. Chase after them, O Father, not with condemnation, but with the fierce love of a shepherd seeking his sheep. Break every chain that holds them captive, deception, bitterness, doubt, wounds, indifference, and closed hearts. I do not ask for a return motivated by guilt or pressure, but for a true turning of the heart, a return that flows from the deepest place of their souls, where you still knock day after day. Awaken them, Lord, from spiritual slumber. Rekindle within them the flame that once burned when they were innocent, when they still believed, when they still longed to be near you. I lift up each member of my family to you, whether parents, spouse, children, siblings, or distant relatives. May each one receive a personal visitation from you, even if they are far away, physically or spiritually. Let your love cross every distance, soften every hardened heart, and break down every barrier. Touch them in your own perfect way, in your appointed time, so that none can resist the gentleness and powerful kindness that only you can give. Heavenly Father, when I see division silently creeping into every corner of the family, my heart aches deeply. Meals are no longer filled with laughter. Conversations feel forced. Hugs grow increasingly rare. I know that only you can do what I cannot. Only you can reconnect what has been torn apart and heal wounds that have lingered untouched for far too long. So today I pray for unity in my family. Not a superficial unity built on reluctant compromise, but a genuine oneness rooted in true love, forgiveness, and humility. Soften the hearts that are angry, heal the hearts that are wounded, and teach us to humble ourselves, to say I'm sorry, to open our hearts to truly listen, and to find courage to love again. Lord, I pray that my home would be placed once again under your sovereign authority. Drive out every spirit of division, strife, envy, judgment, or indifference. Instead, let your Holy Spirit dwell richly among us, so that we may live with love, patience, gentleness, and mercy toward one another. Give us hearts that are tender like little children's, so that no one becomes too hardened to seize a chance for reconciliation, and no one becomes too prideful to stoop down in love for the sake of the other. Loving Father, I especially lift up the souls in my family who are drifting away from you. Those who once knew the light but have now turned away. Those who once heard your call but are now distracted by 1,000 other voices. I know you have never stopped waiting for them. I know your eyes still watch over them day and night, like the Father who stands at the gate, hoping for the prodigal's return. Open their eyes, Lord, to see where the path they walk is truly leading. Remove the mask of false strength and forced composure. Place within them a holy discomfort that drives them to seek peace nowhere else but in your embrace. Let them taste the emptiness of all the world's promises. And please, Lord, use my life, my words, my gaze, and my embrace as a vessel of your love, to prepare the way to wait with hope, to love them to the very end, even before they come home. I also pray for myself, O Lord. Keep my heart from growing weary in intercession. When I don't yet see change, grant me the faith to keep believing. When I feel like giving up, remind me that you never give up. When I am weak, renew my strength through the quiet power of your presence. Use my life as a living letter written in love. Let my patience and faithfulness be a place of refuge for my loved ones when they return. Let me become a small but clear reflection of your light, so that they won't just hear about you through words, but see you in every act, every forgiveness, and every choice I make to love instead of resent. Father, if the family is your dream for humanity, then I ask you to continue fulfilling that dream within my home. Though the road ahead may twist and turn, though change may come slowly, I hold on to the promise that when you move, nothing can stand in your way. And one day, not far from now, I will stand among my loved ones with hands lifted high, heart overflowing with gratitude, and lips singing praises, because you will have fulfilled what you promised. Let that day come, dear Father, the day when broken hearts are mended, the day when the distant child comes home, the day when our whole family bows together before you, united in your presence and walking forward in the blessed purpose you have prepared for us. I pray all of this in the holy name of Jesus Christ, the one who redeemed my family, not with silver or gold, but with his very blood. Amen. If you love the Lord, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss any life-giving message from God. Together, we will grow in faith and live a life fully immersed in His love. Amen.